What is going on, guys? Welcome on into this recap. We lost $213 trading the Dow. And we did this one actually live on, I believe, yesterday when this video gets posted. But recently, on a recent live stream, it was on Thursday, June 20th. So if you want to go back to that live stream, you can see the trade actually happen live. What I was thinking is actually, I think it was pretty cool because I did have a lot of thoughts, that made sense to me, how I viewed things and whatever. If you care, you can go back. So here's one of the accounts. This is on the 25K account. We lost 142. And on the $6,000 account, we lost 71. I've talked about the reasoning of why I have both of those in the past, but that's the two accounts, the same exact trade, pretty much the same entry and exits. Not perfect. Actually, I think it was because I had a buy stop. So they should be the exact same entry and exits times and everything. Because I just went in, I put a buy stop. You can go back to the live stream and see it. And then stop loss, take profit set, and it just hit whatever hit first. We got out, and it stop loss at first. So this is actually a funny trade. So I'm gonna dive into it because it's kind of an interesting one. And as I speak right now, the Dow is blasting north. Holy crap! Look at that move. I mean, that's even something that I could have potentially traded here this afternoon. I did not, but as it just happened, I'm gonna hop off this. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna get in now. But we're approaching the ultimate target that I did have. Either way, it's kind of irrelevant for this trade. The trade was this. Simple as that. I'm not going to pull up the S&P and the NASDAQ at the time, but all I'm going to tell you, if you go back to the live stream, you'll see it happen live. The S&P and NASDAQ, essentially, while the Dow was doing this right here and breaking out, the S&P and the NASDAQ were actually drilling down, and then they started to have a little bit of a bounce. And I was like, oh, this is actually really good. The Dow's got relative strength. This looks like a really good setup. It met all my criteria. I'm happy. No problem. Let's go. And what ended up happening was the S&P and the NASDAQ actually were grinding back up during this period where the Dow was. So you had a complete flip-flop. The Dow was relatively strong while they were weak and diving lower. They start to bounce, and then the Dow starts to take a hit. I haven't honestly seen that happen too much to this degree. But it was interesting. Usually that doesn't happen, and usually whatever's got relative strength, once the others, like the S&P and the NASDAQ, start to recover and bounce, this would usually put the Dow in a really good spot. It didn't, so this is how it goes. But you don't think too much of it, and we took the stop loss, and that was it. This trade was actually planned to be approximately a 1.5 to 1 risk reward. Nothing too crazy, but a 1.5 to 1 is kind of, what I look for, generally speaking, on the low end. I don't really tend to go lower than that. I ideally want a 2 to 1, but I haven't traded the Dow in a while, and I was like, I feel comfortable with a 1.5 to 1. That seems like a decent size move, and I will be happy to take the gains on that. And so that's what I decided to do here with the Dow, and it just didn't work. So I'm going to go into TradeZella. Technically speaking, this is the same trade, just taken on two different accounts. So it inflates the amount of trades that I would have in a given day or a month or whatever, a week. But just something we'll talk about in the trade recap at the end of the month, which is coming up in June. So this is TradeZella. I'll leave a link to them down below like always. If you want to track and journey your trades, stay tuned for the future trade recaps. We have a bunch coming up. There should be 2 on Saturday just to kind of get them out. And then there should be 1 on Sunday, but that 1 on Sunday will encompass a couple of trades and some interesting stuff that I've kind of got going on. So I'll talk about those deeper as the days go on, but stay tuned for those videos. Peace.